All right. Turn my headphones up. Are we live? Mic check 1, 2. You know what I'm saying? All right. So it is election night, right? And of course, we are told that, well, first of all, there was already some sort of weirdo stuff happening in Arizona with the voting machines. I don't know. Some people say it's nefarious. Some people are saying that there's just too many people that want to vote and the red wave is here. I don't know. We're also told that, of course, we won't know. Like, it takes so long to count the votes. So we just won't know for a couple days. So just calm down. So that's all happening. I'm sort of ignoring it right now, but I'm sure we will have no choice but to discuss the midterms in the coming days. With all that said, I want to watch this video from Sav Says, Savannah Hernandez, The Dangerous Streets of Philadelphia, Violence, Drugs, and Free Needles in Kensington. And starts with this nice warning. This video contains uncensored footage from the streets of Philadelphia. Images include drug use, open sores, and violence. Let's see how this plays out. Now, I don't know too much about Philly. I've been there, I don't know, a few times in my life, but it doesn't really seem to get the same press as like New York or San Francisco or LA. So let's see what's going on. When did she post this? She posted this 4 days ago, so I don't know, sometime last week. Whatever, doesn't matter. Let's see what it's looking like in Philly. Viewer discretion is advised, of course.
This is Savannah Hernandez reporting to you from the streets of Philadelphia. Now I'm going to take you guys on a tour of K&A, one of the most dangerous streets in Philadelphia. Also show you guys what some of the public parks look like and try to talk to residents about what it's really like living here in Philly.
Wow, okay, so only in the first couple seconds, it actually looks like a combination of San Francisco and New York almost. Because in New York, of course, you have garbage everywhere, vibrating bags of trash that rats are living in. And then, of course, homeless people slumped over everywhere. But in San Francisco, the trash is not quite as bad. They do have dumpsters. Like, your trash won't get picked up just in a bag on the ground. So they have that going for them rather than just throwing bags of garbage everywhere. But they do have the same sort of homeless people. So right now, in just that little montage that she posted, we see both of the worst aspects, or we see the worst aspects of both San Francisco and New York. So it's not looking good. And of course, obviously, I think Savannah Hernandez is probably pretty conservative, so she's not going to go out there and try to turn it into like a real estate video and show how pretty Philly is. So we'll take it all with a grain of salt. I'm sure there's lovely areas, just like there's still. Actually, I don't know if there's still any lovely areas of New York or San Francisco for that matter. Moving on. The point I'm trying to make is, in this first 20 seconds, it looks like you have all of the worst aspects of the worst places.
Upon arriving at Kensington Avenue, you can immediately see that this is a dangerous area.
So I'm guessing that Kensington Avenue is kind of like the Tenderloin, maybe, in San Francisco?
Groups of drug users are sitting on the corner, many of which are high on heroin, crack, fentanyl, or tranq, as users would call it, the shortened term for horse or elephant tranquilizer.
Oh.
Now, simply driving down the street was genuinely horrifying, but
I've never heard that. That's new to me. Tranquilizer? Wow, this is pretty dark. This is already worse than I thought.
I knew that in order to truly understand the real impact this drug crisis is having on the city, I would have to walk down Kensington Avenue. Since drug users are sitting on every corner, I decided to walk up and talk with a couple of them to get a more in-depth view of the drug use on the streets.
See, so like I said, for the most part, you have all the drug users in San Francisco, but you don't have just bags of garbage everywhere. You do have human feces, which we could probably agree is worse than garbage bags.
Can I ask what you're doing?
I'm mixing cocaine and fentanyl together to produce what's known as a speedball, which basically causes you to have a more intense rush.
He's wearing a Wu-Tang hoodie, which is, I guess, kind of funny. I don't know.
You would.
Where did you get all those needles from? Talk to me about it.
Prevention clinic.
What are they for?
For people who need them, so they won't have to use like dirty needles.
So he's got a pocket full of needles. I oftentimes think that maybe these people are trying to get clean, but he's clearly not even working in that direction at all. But maybe that's naive of me to think that people want to stop this. It's like on a lesser level. It's like when you see people that buy cartons of cigarettes, like they're not even trying to stop. Like, oh, I'm gonna stop next week. It's like we're in it for the long haul. I got this handful, this pocket full of needles, and it's not going anywhere. And I don't know. Maybe she'll ask him. Maybe we'll get to it. But I don't know how these people could possibly be supporting this habit.
So where did you get these ones from? Just like from
Prevention Point.
Gotcha.
And they give you like an ID with a number, so like say the cops got you and you had this stuff, like you wouldn't get like arrested for paraphernalia because you have like an ID saying like you're allowed to get them.
After sharing the quick comment about how she gets clean needles from Prevention Point, this user then started preparing a mixture of drugs from a little blue packet.
There's no real heroin in this. It's just fentanyl and trank.
Okay, quick story for you guys as well. While I was talking to our friends over here who were mixing fentanyl and cocaine together, kind of giving us an idea of how that is done, an SUV pulled up behind me. My friend was talking to one of the users who shared, you know what those guys are doing, right? She said, no, what's going on? He shared that SUVs like that will pull up behind women and snatch them off of the street.
What? So we've gone from just like a junkie Skid Row type of place to like a kidnapping HQ? Adult kidnapping? What?
So he shared that he thought that they were trying to snatch us up, just trying to give you guys an idea of the environment here.
Wow.
You know, like I said, I've been out here for 2 years, and the drugs out here ain't drugs anymore. I mean, it's just so bad to get off of, and it's not even fentanyl. It's they put tranquilizer and everything, so.
So I was actually talking to a couple people who were showing me some pretty big lesions on their skin. They said it was a result of the trank. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, I got a little something going on, but I mean, mine aren't near as.
That is brutal. Tranquilizer, open sores from too much trank. This is news to me. I've never heard of trank. Like, I don't know, back in the day, it was like, crackheads, meth heads. And then, of course, everything was laced with fentanyl in recent years. And now we've moved on to tranquilizers. Like, where is this coming from?
Serious is what they get. And that's all, it's all your skin, because it's not for human consumption, so it does something with your white blood cells, and your skin can't heal itself. It's toxic.
Okay, so talk to me too about what other drugs you're seeing on the streets down here. Is this a safe area? Talk to me about what it's like to be on the street.
Oh, to be on the street out here? I mean, every day there's violence, gunshots. I've ducked gunshots. I mean, everyone walks around with some type of weapon, even if it's just a 2x4 or stick, whatever.
Oh.
I mean, everything out here. Any high you want to get, you'll find out here.
I have to assume this is, Kensington, maybe I could do some research on it, but I have to assume this is the bottom. Like, this is the worst. It gets no worse than this. I can't imagine what would have to happen for things to get worse than this. These people are just sleeping. They're knotted out all over the place. Like I said, it definitely looks like a mixture of San Francisco and New York, which is just disgusting.
And they're making it so cheap now you can buy trays, which is $3. You can get $3 caps of hard, $3 of dope, meth, whatever it is, whatever you enjoy doing.
I want to give you guys an idea of how out of control it really is down here. You have raw sewage lining the streets, you have the homeless here, you have immense amounts of trash, and if you look on the ground, you're going to see these orange caps. Now what those are the caps to the clean needles that a lot of the addicts are being given here on this street.
No, those I'm familiar with. Those are all over the place in New York. Under the Williamsburg Bridge, of course, all over the place in San Francisco for years. So that much I do know, but this is really dark stuff, bro. And like I said, Philly does it seems to fly under the radar for the most part. It doesn't get all the press like Eric Adams or Kathy Hochul, whatever her name is. But there was that one video that went viral, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, and it literally just looked like a zombie movie. I think it was somebody just recording from their phone out of their car, like the passenger side window of their car, and it looked like a zombie apocalypse. Like you would have thought that was from a post-apocalyptic movie, but it was like Philadelphia in 2021.
Places such as Prevention Point. Now, I was in Portland a couple weeks ago, and comparing Philadelphia to Portland, the crime, the aggression, and the drug use in this area much higher than that in Portland from what I'm seeing.
Now, I know a lot of this footage is really heavy, so let's take a quick break to check out these Philly crack chickens. These guys are in a trash-filled coop on K&A, and locals shared with me that they'll lay eggs in the coop, and feeding them is a pastime that some people do enjoy. Okay, now let's get to the part of the trip where I unfortunately get attacked for trying to film the weekly needle exchange in front of Prevention Point.
Now, we're currently in front of Prevention Point, which is one of the longest running needle exchanges in Philadelphia. It was started in the 90s, and just last year they distributed almost 9 million needles to addicts here on the street. Now, we were trying to film the needle exchange and it didn't go so well. Again, this is all public property, and I just wanted to show you guys the scene here. We are on K&A. This is one of the organizations that does provide drug users with clean needles. Some people sharing that this is a great program, others sharing not so great.
And this does remind us of Punks with Lunch, I believe. It was an old video that I did about a Bay Area organization. There was a couple of videos, right, of course, about the drug use, the needle exchange, the open air drug market happening in San Francisco. But these organizations that come out, and Danny Mullen actually did a pretty good video about it too, where he's trying to go into like the safe zone where you can shoot up, all of San Francisco is a safe zone, but there's like a little tent city where you can go in there and shoot up. And it was just hilarious because you can't go in there and like crack open a beer, but you can't go in there and maybe light up a joint. It's like specifically for hard drug users. And obviously when you have these places, they're going to start to become, for lack of a better term, infested with these zombies that are just mulling around outside. Who knows how they're supporting their habit? Who knows what they're doing? I think we can all agree that they're probably not just, going to work by day and then shooting up dope all night. No, they have to figure out another way how to get the money to do this. Well, the users. Of course, the organization is I'm sure being funded by some weirdo establishment propaganda, money funneling, corrupt scheme that they got going on. But let's move on.
I will just say from my own observations, I have never seen so many exposed needles on the street as I have here in Philadelphia, specifically on Kensington Avenue.
I'm really sorry, but before you take it, please, no, you are not allowed to film.
So
I'm really sorry, but before you take it, please.
Did he
have here in
pick those up with
Philadelphia,
his bare
specifically
hands?
on Kensington Avenue.
I'm really sorry, but before you take it, please, no, you are not allowed to film.
So we're being told that we cannot film in front of Prevention Point. This is a public street.
Now, I wonder why they don't want to be filmed, right? Because we're told that you're not supposed to stigmatize these people, and it's all supposed to, you should be proud of what you're doing, right? You're helping. This is a good thing that you're doing, so you should be more than willing to, show people how you're helping the community, no? No?
We're trying to highlight here the drug exchange program, not drug, needle exchange. I apologize here. We're being told that we're not allowed to film what's happening on the streets of Philadelphia.
The anonymity of our participants and our patients. We ask that.
So we're not going into the.
And it's also funny how these people who are using drugs and enabling drug use are still sticking with the mask. She's obviously got her chin mask on. So they're worried about, Rona 3 years in, but they're not worried so much about hard drug use, of course.
Building. This is a public street, so you can interview with me here, but I'm highlighting what is happening on a public street here, on the streets of Philadelphia. This is the needle exchange program that is currently happening in front of Prevention Point. Yeah, there's nobody's faces in this. We're highlighting what's happening here in Philadelphia, and we should be allowed to do that. By the way, guys, this is the last thing that my camera saw before it was grabbed by one of the addicts nearby. I began filming on my phone immediately after. Here's that clip. I have this security officer right here who has stolen my property. She refuses to give it back. Would you like to give me my property back?
So a security guard told her.
All right, so you have the people on the streets of Philly allowed to physically attack you, and this is what's allowed to prosper on the streets. So this is what happens when you come to Philadelphia and you try to report on the drug crisis here. I've gotten physically attacked multiple times. This woman right over here has my property. She refuses to give it back. You have this woman over here saying that I'm not allowed to report on a public.
So that's like a security guard. Like, so a block, I mean, it's not a police officer. It's like a security guard who took her stuff because she's filming on a public street, even though we are basically being told that this is a good thing, right? That's why we're handing out these needles to help these people, right? We're making sure that they're using clean needles so they don't kill themselves while they're shooting up dope under the train tracks. But they also don't want it to be seen, which lets us know that obviously this is not a good thing.
Public street. I've been physically attacked twice now because I'm trying to report on the.
Oh, there's a green Kia. You know, whenever you see a green Kia, it's bad news bears. Green Kia Soul is no good. They can never do anything properly. Whether it's, of course, cutting you off in traffic or apparently, driving down the junkie den in Philly.
Needle exchange program. My camera was taken by a drug addict, thrown on the ground and smashed, and then one of their security officers went ahead and took my microphone, smashed it as well. I have this woman right over here who has been making sure to tell me that I'm not allowed to report on a public street. So this is a public area. What they're doing behind me is a needle exchange program, and they do not want this exposed on the streets of Philadelphia, that they are allowing drug addicts to exchange dirty needles for clean ones.
Which is crazy, right? Even in New York, they do. Of course, those are fake news segments with ABC or NBC reporters or whatever. So they have it all, all prissied up, all cleaned up so they can come, so they can show it and make it seem like this is just a great thing and we're really helping out the neighborhood. But if that's that's what I thought this was all about, right? This is a good program. We're helping these people so they don't die, right? I mean, in New York, they're talking about, come to us and we'll help you test your dope for fentanyl before you shoot it up, right? So we're told that this is a good thing and we're saving lives and it's compassionate, but then when somebody shows up and wants to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it. I wonder why.
Again, I've been attacked twice now. Thank you so much. The security guard who took this, again, this is my smashed equipment. I've been attacked multiple times here. So this is what's being allowed to prosper on the streets of Philadelphia. Again, Prevention Point on KNA.
Now, before you label me as public enemy number one for filming this, I was genuinely just curious about the program. I never meant to go expose anything, and if this program is so great, why wouldn't Prevention Point want us to highlight what they're doing?
Exactly. That's literally what I'm saying. Okay, makes sense. All on the level.
On top of that, the only time people get this upset when I'm filming them in public is when they're doing something illegal. Anyway, we spoke to a man who uses Prevention Point's taxpayer-funded program, and he gave us a pretty good idea as to why they probably didn't want us filming them.
Has this organization ever given you needles? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, every day of the week they do a emergency 10-pack. You can go in, get a 10-pack of needles. It comes with, your water, cooker, all that type of stuff. Everything you need to get high. And, like I said, actually, they're working outside of the law.
So they're literally giving them every single thing except for the drugs, which would lead me to believe, like I've said for many years now, that some of these politicians have a stake in the actual drug trade. Of course, this is on the level, or he's going to explain why it's actually not on the level, but they're going to sell it as, a nice, compassionate, legal thing. Meanwhile, something has to be going on behind the scenes, whether it's just their open borders policy or, sanctuary cities, all of that stuff. They are clearly benefiting from having these drugs all over the streets. Somehow, some way, I can't pinpoint it, I can't prove it, but that's just the logical thing.
From what I understand, because the needle exchange in Pennsylvania is illegal, but however many, you can walk around and pick needles up on the ground.
So needle exchange is illegal in Pennsylvania, according to this dope fiend. So I wonder, what John Fetterman thinks about that. He doesn't think about that. He doesn't know what's going on.
And Tuesdays and Fridays, if you take them...
And for the record, speaking of John Fetterman, because it is election night, there was this clip of Van Jones, Van Jones posted it to his own Instagram, talking about how what happened to John Fetterman is going to heal. He'll be okay. So you should vote for John Fetterman. Dr. Oz, he can't be, now I'm going to butcher it. But basically he was saying that Fetterman is going to recover, but Oz is how he is, and he's not going to recover. He's just an evil right-wing Republican that his entire career started because of Oprah. But Van Jones is basically saying that Fetterman not being able to comprehend speech or speak himself properly is basically a nothing burger, but that's a completely different story. This dope fiend is telling us that needle exchange is illegal in Pennsylvania, but they're still doing it every day of the week. Apparently, they're giving out 10 needles. What? 10 needles to each person.
Man, they'll give you whatever you take in. So you say you take 100 needles, they give you 200. They'll give you double. Then that's profit. Everyone's doing it because it's profit. You go out here, you sell 2 needles for $1, so that's how you get your high then.
That's what I was going to ask too, because a lot of people say that the needle exchange program is good, but I was talking to someone who was saying that a lot of times people will go get the clean needles and then resell them for money to buy more drugs. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, even the dealers are doing it. You can go to any block and you can buy needles. Everyone's taking advantage of it because there's so many needles out here.
So with this emergency pack that they just gave you, do they give one person a pack? How does that work?
Yeah, every person gets 1 pack.
And you can kind of just walk in there and get that?
Yeah, you walk in and they just take your name, and actually you can sign up and I don't got my card with me, but they give you a card, so if the police stop you, they can't even take your needles or charge you for having them. Because I guess there was a law passed here in Philadelphia. Crazy. You can have clean needles on you.
Oh, you have the pack yourself. How do you feel about the program? Do you feel like it's a good thing, a bad thing? Do you think it's contributing to the drug problem at all? What do you think?
A health standpoint, I think it's a good thing. But everything out here, everything everyone's doing is contributing to the problem.
From a health standpoint, it's a good... What? No, dude. I guess it's better than dirty needles, but if you're talking about health, do you think shooting dope into your veins is okay? What? This is completely backwards. But this guy, he's talking. He seems to be rational. I don't know if she's getting these interviews by passing out cigarettes or something. I don't know how you even get these people to talk to you, but I guess it's easier for her probably than it would be for me.
People are coming out here, they're feeding the homeless, or they're clothing us, they're giving us tents, they're giving you everything you need so you don't have to leave here.
That's what I was going to ask too. Like, does Prevention Point help with addiction, or are they just giving you the tools to help you safely take drugs?
If you want help and you seek help, they'll get you into a program. They got case management. They'll get you into housing and stuff like that. They'll get you on the methadone clinic. But from my experience, everyone I know out here, even though they're using all these resources, they're still getting high at the end of the day. They're just using it to get further ahead with housing and everything else, but they aren't stopping getting high.
Dude, well, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want, people to know about KNA?
Don't come here. Don't come here, especially don't get caught here at night.
Yeah, it's kind of scary down here.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I've had my shoes ripped off it's the kids. You gotta watch out for the kids. Honestly, 13, 14, 15, yeah, they're becoming a real problem. Listen, they ride around 14, 15 on a bike and they'll jump you, rob you, put guns in your face. It's getting out of control.
And what do these kids get from you? What do you have? You have a couple bucks in cash? You have $40? Who knows? That's a completely different story. Maybe we'll get another one from Sav in Philly. I'm not sure, but my question is, does anybody want to get clean? She kind of asked whether the center is helping with addiction or if it's just helping with just helping them continue to use. But do any of these people, a genuine question, do they want to get clean, or do they have this vision of okay, I'm gonna stop using, I need some help? Does that ever cross any of these people's mind? It must. It's some people must want to actually stop, but of course these people are going to keep enabling that. I'm not sure. Good video. Sav is crazy for. I don't know what kind of security she has out there. Who she might be partnering with in this particular video, but there's no way she can just be out there by herself and maybe one cameraman. She's got to have some sort of I mean, I don't know, because it's obviously she got attacked. I'm sure it's probably not the first time she's been attacked. It's probably not going to be the last time she's been attacked. So she's doing good work. She's risking it all to show us what the dope fiends are living like under the train tracks in Philadelphia. So I guess that's it. Kind of a short one. It's election night, so we're going to go back and see what's happening with this red tsunami or this red mirage or whatever people are calling it, and how many days it's going to take so that the left can count how many extra boxes of votes they need to bring in. So like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff next time.